Because for me, I mean, oh my goodness, SpeCial's already showing a little bit of a fake proxy over here, which can always throw you off. We did talk about him being a bit of a tricky player, trying to show you one thing and stuff. But what do you think we're going to see from a second SC even? Oh, it must be a scout. Oh, well.
Reapers, right?
Or maybe some Marauders. It's got such a long way to go. I mean, maybe you're totally right with the Reaper stuff, but what do you think we're going to be seeing from ShoWTimE in this series? Because, yeah, you just got to see a little bit of his PvT against Time. Time's very quick, though. I think he's got that kind of Clem finesse to him, that he's very good with the micro, good with the control. But, yeah, seeing this already, that's going to be making you feel a little bit uneasy.
This is actually really funny. We were watching earlier the Cure game versus Neeb, actually it was. And in that game, Cure played a 2-Rex Marauder with a single gas as well. ShoWTimE and SpeCial were watching together, and SpeCial kept telling ShoWTimE, I'm gonna play this against you, I'm gonna play this against you. And now he's playing a 2-Rex proxy with a single gas, but it's Reapers instead of Marauders. It requires a slightly different response. Oh, this getting spotted is absolutely huge though. If ShoWTimE gets to finish this wall with a Stargate, gets a battery on the low ground, SpeCial's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I don't see this doing that much whatsoever. And I mean, it's not as if it's super close to his opponent's base. It's going to take a long time to travel. Getting that scout off as quickly as ShoWTimE did, maybe the fact that the second depot started getting built so early back at the base might have given it away a little bit, that it wasn't like some super crazy committed thing, like right from the get-go.
Yeah, this is kind of wild. The CC also isn't actually that delayed. This of course is an investment, but it's also an investment in things that will pay off later on, right? The second barracks is still going to be useful. The first units will be useful as well, and that CC is only delayed by what, 40 seconds or so. So don't get us wrong, it's not like this is a super all-in, but it does need to do some damage, and just forcing out a battery is not damage enough.
Yeah, it's a weird one for me. I do like SpeCial's approach though, because if it did come down to like very orthodox builds, one going at another one, I do think that does favor ShoWTimE. So I think making it a little bit weird and wacky, especially if it's your kind of weird and wacky, that's all right for you. By the way, nice grenades there just to delay these adepts just a smidgen. Oh, nice bouncing around by SpeCial actually.
Yeah, and ShoWTimE messing up the shade there is big, because that means that this second Reaper gets to stay alive. 3 worker kills is way more than I ever would have thought that this could do.
Already off to a decent start, and he's safe at home, getting out the Marines and what have you. We do see an Oracle is on the way, and that's something in the hands of a man like ShoWTimE you always have to respect, but I'm curious about what the follow-up for both of these players is going to be exactly.
Yeah, in the current PvT climate, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a Twilight Council as a follow-up, although ShoWTimE has been one of the only players that actually doesn't mind getting a second and even a third Oracle at times, as these adepts are marching across the map, dealing some damage. This Oracle could start flying across the map as well, and with no real threat of a Widow Mine drop, I don't really mind this second Oracle whatsoever here. I actually like it.
I like it a lot too, and I think he was actually picking off some of these reinforcements coming in from this right-hand side with the barracks, so picking off a few extra Marines. Now there's already 2 Oracles on the map, or is it just 1? No, this has got to be the second one in production, right? But still, this is quite a scary squad, because having 1 Widow Mine, you're kind of relying on that to actually deal some damage, and now production's going to be stopped as well for a little bit of a while with these barracks.
Yeah, let's not forget that SpeCial actually needs to defend 2 bases as well. It's not just the natural, but the Oracle could also fly into the main. I think that's what ShoWTimE is going to do now. There's no mine. Oh, is there a mine? Oh my god, didn't even see it. Oh, there is a mine there. That's kind of sick.
It is sick, but 4 adepts. That might... Oh, okay. I was holding my breath a little bit. Like, we've got to remember that SpeCial hasn't been able to make a unit for quite some time out of these barracks, which that Marine count is going to take a little bit of time to grow. And behind this, ShoWTimE's doing all the solid things, going up to a 3rd base and... Oh, going into the main base here. That Widow Mine revealed as well.
Yeah, this is absolutely huge. These Oracles are going to get a decent amount of damage. Adepts are also getting damage. Oh my god, huge mine hit. Actually damaging a lot of these SCVs. Now all one-shottable by this Oracle. Good control here. Does end up losing 1 Oracle, I do believe, and all of the Adepts go down. But I think that was a worthwhile trade here for ShoWTimE.
I think so too. It feels like a lot of what SpeCial's done is trying to slow down his opponent, and we do see that probe lead already amounting. What's the Phoenix count? I do see that he's already producing Phoenix. It's 0. I mean, there is definitely a window to get damage done with this Widow Mine drop, and so far, ShoWTimE's just thinking about attacking, thinking about slowing down his opponent, but yeah, doesn't see anything there in the natural.
Yeah, this Medevac is already a bit damaged, and the Phoenix is in position here for ShoWTimE. If this Phoenix gets a hold on this Medevac, which just boosted, by the way, we'll get the boost on cooldown right now. ShoWTimE needs to react very quickly. He will do that. Second Phoenix is about to pop out as well with a quick pro pool. I think ShoWTimE will be just fine though.
Oh, I was a bit scared there for a moment, but yeah, nice pickup on this first Widowmine. The next few Widowmines definitely buying quite a bit of lost mine. Oh, wasted Widowmine shot there. That was a real clean hold by ShoWTimE, not losing a single probe. And the follow-up with the Liberator as well, when you know there's Phoenix out, it's just, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, he's just hoping to get damage done, but if ShoWTimE just sits back and just waits a little bit, I think he's going to be all right.
This is the oddest little build. He's now moving out with a crap ton of Marines, with just Stim, no medevacs there. I guess the Liberator wants to be some type of distraction. If these Marines walk into stasis, this build is over, right? Like, this is the end of this aggression.
Absolutely is. That stasis was there, planted just 5 seconds before. Those Phoenix have been out on the map though, but look at ShoWTimE. He's already like, all right, get back to position here, get the Phoenix back home a little bit, but will deny mining, and yet again, and great pro pull.
That was a very fast response, by the way. He had no pylon on the side, so he spotted this quite late. Liberator's gonna get taken out without doing any damage whatsoever. The next real threat that will come out of SpeCial here will just be those two medevacs, but that's just a one-way attack. There's no multiprong, there's no third medevac, there's no Liberator, and ShoWTimE has an army that is definitely good enough to fight this small Marine force.
Yeah, I like the fact that SpeCial has that Marine force on the left-hand side, because if that wasn't spotted, could have snuck in there, dealt a little bit of damage, and ShoWTimE, he's more than prepared though, and so far, living up to his name, the wall.
Yeah, he definitely is defending everything in an appropriate manner so far. I wouldn't mind getting some type of secondary tech though. Yeah, there we go with the Templar Archives. I wouldn't have minded if that would have gone down about 30 or 40 seconds ago already. He was floating a decent amount of gas with that fast 4 gas that he went for. Phoenix production resuming as well. I'm a huge fan of that ban.
Me too, me too. I mean, it allows you to skip the blink entirely, going for charge. Now he gets to focus entirely on a proper, well, raw power army. Do you think he's going to go straight into Archons or save the Storm?
I think he should honestly go for Storm here. I mean, he's been on 4 gas for so long. He has a lot of gas, but we also see that fast Robo. So perhaps a couple of Archons to try and stay alive until you get the Colossi out. If he can survive till Colossi, that is the better play. But I think the safer play would be to get Storm first.
Goes immediately for the Archons though, and here with these Phoenix out on the map, still getting a little bit of damage done. What's the resources lost tab at? Because I don't remember ShoWTimE really... Okay, did lose those units early on, obviously, but he's definitely been trading well, and already 5 Widowmines down, a Liberator. Making these Widowmine, or rather Liberators, really damn early in this game. That is... SpeCial has a weird take on TVP.
Yeah, this is why I think I would have preferred the Stormer, because that's a big Marine army that we are at right now, and you know that SpeCial likes to be aggressive with a 1-1 type of push majority of the time in that mid game. So you don't really need to prepare too much for a super late game. You just need to stop these pushes. And once your forward base is up, you're usually safe against SpeCial. And I think ShoWTimE is better in that late game as well. And he's trying to rush there a bit too fast.
After seeing that army of SpeCial, it's a really damn strong one. And he didn't try and push out before he had to. He's accumulated a very strong bio army here. And with very minimal splash for ShoWTimE. I love this run by though.
Yeah, this is great. There's only like 5 Marauders in this army. Oh, great force fields here. A big chunk will get picked up before the real fight even starts. And these SCVs going down at home as well for SpeCial. Liberator will get a couple of kills, but once again a quick response out of ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE seems to be defending so far.
He does. It's the work account that's really starting to surprise me a little bit, because even though I'm seeing SCVs die here, there, and everywhere now, the count isn't that crazy. Nice micro that Stalker, by the way. Just moving it nice and calmly to the side, taking out both Liberators now. Supplies, after all things said and done, are pretty close, but now we're moving on to that stage of the game where Colossus are getting added to the mix, and that's where the Terran needs to start thinking about how to counter those as well.
Yeah, good read here out of ShoWTimE, by the way, knowing that there's going to be drops out. Blink is about to finish up. SpeCial will be able to boost away just in time. And with the first Colossi popping out right now, no armory on the way yet. Ghost Academy just now starting, Ben. I mean, Colossi will be out before Ghosts are out. This is not what we're used to seeing in TVP. No,
it isn't. I do like the call for the Ghost Academy before the armory, but I am very worried if this game goes on for another few minutes. It feels like SpeCial's been looking to try and get something done, so it's not as if he's been making the wrong call. It's just ShoWTimE hasn't taken any damage whatsoever.
Yeah, and now we have SpeCial trying to move in with a bit of an army split, wants to deal some damage and eventually probably try and get a kill on a base somewhere. This is a good fight, by the way. Super Battery does get activated. Don't forget, there's still an army on that right side as well. ShoWTimE is remembering that, has a big chunk of his army there. Oracle can get a tag up. This is a decent enough army, can definitely take this out, right? With that one Colossi there, Marine-based armies are just not as powerful.
No, I do like the way that SpeCial is pulling him back to the Widowmines continuously, though. Like, he's really giving ShoWTimE a run for his money here, but as soon as those Colossus come online with the Thermal Lance, that's when it's a really different story. Now he's trying to amass all his forces in one spot and really pressure this third base, knowing that the overcharge is down here. His army is red, and he's playing very well, I do think SpeCial is, even though ShoWTimE, he's not the one on the clock.
This observer is the sickest observer in the world, by the way. He's been seeing so much already. All these rotations have been kind of preempted here by ShoWTimE, getting that good army movement, making sure that he can always force shoot a ramp if he needs to. And if Thermal Lance finishes up, I'm not quite sure how SpeCial is going to try and break this.
Me neither, but the time is now for SpeCial. There's 2 Colossus yet to finish, but Colossus on either side. The Phoenix coming from the right side as well. All these Marines getting melted. There still isn't an overcharged battery, and ShoWTimE just holds, and it's only going to get worse for SpeCial here. I'm really enjoying this PvT so far.
Yeah, but no fourth command center, no armory, no second eBay. I don't want to call this an all-in, but there's no backup plan, Ben.
I mean, that's kind of the definition of an all-in, right? I mean, SpeCial really wanted to get something done with this, but as this army accumulates for ShoWTimE, he's on 4 bases, again, just not taking any damage, and that's when you know a Protoss is feeling pretty damn healthy in this matchup, when they go for the second Forge and start getting the upgrades on both of them, especially when they've got double Robo on the go.
Yeah, taking that 7 and 8 gas as well. The Dark Shrine, he's going into the late game already, and SpeCial is going to be stuck in the mid game for eternity.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too. Like, SpeCial's gone for so much aggression, then gets a sensor tower because he's like, oh, but what about when I'm getting attacked? Like, mate, you don't have to worry about that right now. You have to worry about killing your opponent because you're going to be stuck in the dark ages with the kind of tech you've got going. Although, that being said, there is going to be a Warp Prism, but man, Disruptor's out on the go. I don't think I've seen him produce a single Viking either this game.
No, this has been pure Metavex and Ghost. This is a timing that usually you see when a Terran wants to deny a fort base, but these fights started happening after the fort base was done already. ShoWTimE was considering taking his gases there already. Ooh, ShoWTimE actually believes he has a big enough army, and I believe he has a big enough army with the upgrade lead that he has, with his huge Marine count in this army. ShoWTimE is going to chase this all the way down. Yeah,
he's going to run through a line of Widowmines here, north and south, but that little cluster of bio is not meant to be fighting against superior upgraded Protoss, but this is the one chance he has. He's getting a nice little concave, but everything melting, and oh my goodness, that was a hell of a lot of Protoss just collapsing on that Terran. Nicely handled by ShoWTimE.
Yeah, and after that early game, it felt like ShoWTimE just had so many workers, and if you don't take any damage, yeah, just kind of snowballs from there on out. It felt like SpeCial just was a bit behind and never managed to make a play. I think a very big kind of turning point in that game was the force fields on the ramp near the fort, right?
They were clean.
Yeah, if ShoWTimE doesn't pick off that chunk of Marines and the 2 Marauders that were there, I actually think he will struggle. He has no major splash against like a 32 Marine army.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because SpeCial strat, let's be real, it was kind of an all-in. It was very much a tempo-based play. If the game gets to it where he deals a bit of damage, enough damage to slow down ShoWTimE, then he might start, you know, upgrading and accumulating better tech and what have you, but he just never got any damage done, so it never got to that phase. And, you know, it's not every Protoss in the world that can defend as well as ShoWTimE did that game, because a few times it's like, oh, is he in position? It's like, maybe not, but he handled it really damn well.
Yeah, I also like that ShoWTimE went for a 4th Colossi there. Often Tosses will kind of switch into Disruptor the moment they get their 3rd Colossi, but ShoWTimE saw that there was not a single Viking in production. He's like, well, why would I ever consider switching out of Colossi here if all you're getting is bio? I can just get up to 5 or 6 Colossi even, theoretically. He only went up to 4, and I really like that. Just boosting that main army, making sure he can kill Marines, Marauders, and Ghosts well. Disruptors, no need.
No need at all. It is always a bit of a nightmare for Terran players when you're thinking, okay, is he going to play like Mass Zealot style, like a Charge Lot Archon kind of thing, which maybe SpeCial was thinking, because that would have got massacred by Widowmine and Ghost, but correct call by ShoWTimE, instantly double Robo, gets it on the go, and those Colossus, even without the Thermal Lance, they're enough, especially with those force fields you talked about, just to keep him at bay. I think ShoWTimE handled all the chokes and the ramps very well, and the Oracle as well, staying alive for as long as it did, just to revelate everything. All round, very good play. Looking forward to what he brings in the rest of this series.
Yeah, absolutely true. Our second map is going to be Blackburn, and in the bottom right, spawning as the red Terran player playing for Team Storm Gaming, it is SpeCial.
Already being a bit cheeky, we saw there with 2 SCVs, or 1 SCV moving out, 1 for the depot. But spawning on the left, representing Team Big, it is ShoWTimE. Now that SCV, not go into your super regular, normal proxy location. We'll go and park a spot next to that Ultralisk statue over there. But so far, it looks like it's just going to be 1 SCV moving out of the map. The monitor is a little bit far away from Hearthstone. What do you make of this one?
It's a semi-fake proxy, Ben. It's perfectly in the middle. Oh, no way he's going to scout that. If he actually would have scouted that, I think I would have paused the game as SpeCial. Hello, can he see the screen?
Yeah, as soon as he said it, I saw like, oh my goodness, it's going in that direction. That would have been a ridiculous proper caster curse there. But if SpeCial is going for all these unorthodox builds in TVP, because even if you go for a fake proxy, this is kind of weird, like weirdly far to do it. What is his take on TVP right now? Has he been vocal about it? Because I know he's a player that's not hesitated to speak his mind in the past.
I don't think he's a huge fan, but even when he was a fan of the matchup, he just liked proxying in general. Like, he likes to be tricky. He likes to kind of have the momentum in the matchup. This position of the barracks, I don't quite understand it. I guess it's very safe, but ShoWTimE is not even a player that tends to scout the close-by proxy location. So against a player like ShoWTimE, I don't really mind actually proxying it next to his base, like in the slow zone, something like that. He hasn't scouted once against for proxies.
That's true, that's true. This bunker will be in range of this Nexus, and for ShoWTimE, I don't think that should worry him too much, because even though SpeCial is a little bit crazy, a little bit sneaky, he doesn't come across to me as the guy that's going to be like, okay, I'm going to 2-rax bunker all in you with Marines and stuff real close to your base. And ShoWTimE gets the confirmation here for sure, seeing the factory back at home. So he's played against this kind of build before, and so far, you know, not overreacting in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a battery on the low ground with that pylon. Cute pylon positioning, by the way. Oh no, that can die. That really can die.
Will it though? No, it won't die, won't die. The pylon on the upper ramp, you're totally right. I love that for planting a battery here, because a battery will stop this from going down, but Protosters have got so good with dealing with these bunkers in the most efficient ways possible, because back in the day it was like, okay, you need a battery to sort it, you got to rush it out as soon as you can. But the Stargate opening, do you think that's going to be one thing where it's like an Oracle just to straight across the map, or what are you feeling?
Yeah, well, it could be either an Oracle or a Phoenix, Ben. I don't think we're going to see a Void Ray, although technically still possible. It is Blackburn, and we've seen it in the past. But yeah, I kind of like an Oracle here. We see a lot of Stalkers already being built, so this would transition well into like single Oracle Twilight, something like that. There's a lot of gas in the bank for ShoWTimE, so it's definitely a possibility. Second Reaper will try to jump up through this zone, and ShoWTimE just walking away as it pops up. It's perhaps 1 or 2 probe kills right on the pipeline here.
Or just a little run away, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? That Reaper definitely going for a bit of a tour around the base. Did he see? He saw the Stargate tech, right? I think he just ran right past. Okay, so he certainly sees that. He's going to get a Viking back at home. Is a medevac already out here? Because there's a few Hellions being made as well. Honestly, this game's pretty hard to follow. Like, SpeCial's build feels a lot about doing a lot of things, but we haven't seen it truly accumulate. That Viking feels like a defensive Viking? Even the... Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know what's going on here.
I mean, with double mine and the barracks on the map, right, there's no way he's going to push across the map. He just doesn't have the Marine count. So I guess it is a defensive Viking, and then he follows it up with a medevac. I am about as confused as you are. But SpeCial really needs to start dealing some damage, and these 2 Hellions and this Reaper might be capable of doing just that. 1 worker already gets kind of damaged. I think 1 worker just fell as well. Are 3 worker kills enough in there?
I don't think they are, but you know, you get the scout off, you get to see that it is like a Twilight follow-up with the 3-gate and what have you, but I think SpeCial was definitely hoping for more, because he caught ShoWTimE very off guard with that beautiful Viking positioning.
This is actually great, and I love the follow-up. I didn't understand the medevac after, but with the armory, it makes so much sense. Seeing that it's going to be Blink as well, there will be no Phoenixes on the map. These mines can be split in a way that you will need maybe 3 or even 4 Revelations to clean up all of these mines. And SpeCial actually gets a second medevac as well. This is really fun play. I love this. This is kind of what Spirit was playing earlier as well. Slightly different order, but the end goal is the same. There's only 2 mines in this medevac though. So I really do believe he should split them between the bases.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to use this medevac just to scout what's happening when the 3rd base is actually going down. But we know what he doesn't know. There's no Robo on the way, and only 1 Oracle on the map as well. But that's another 3 Widow Mines coming in with that other drop. If SpeCial does this right, this is going to be ridiculously hard to hold for ShoWTimE, because if he sends an Oracle for this guy, hey, those 3 Widow Mines might come in, and then it's going to get real dicey.
Yeah, that was a good on burrow there as well out of SpeCial. And now the second medevac comes into the natural. Will burrow a mine there. Single probe does get sacrificed. I love that he's splitting up these mines. Now realizing, hey, wait a second, there's no robo. You have a single oracle. Good luck cleaning this up, buddy. I'm just gonna pop them down everywhere in your base. You're gonna need infinite revelations, which means you can't scout. Is ShoWTimE aware of the third CC?
Wait, he tried to plant it in the middle and he missed both of them.
Really?
Yeah, I just saw ShoWTimE's face. He just shook his head. He was like, oh, no way. Did I not hit either one there? That is terrible. I've also kept my eye on this production tab. No robo's been made the whole time. Yeah. So he was relying on that to hold, and that is a nice cleanup with this Widow Mine, but this already for ShoWTimE, quite a bad position to be in.
Yeah, and he also stopped probe production during that a couple of times. Even now we see only 1 probe in production while there are 3 Nexi. 44 workers against 44. I think SpeCial managed to break the Mauer. At least for now, 3rd CC is already done. 4 more barracks on the way, plus 1 on the way. The tech for ShoWTimE is not there yet. Viking now marching into the main base, starts 2-shotting these probes. Will actually get a crap ton of damage as well, and ShoWTimE's in a world of trouble, Ben.
I mean, this is really bad for him. We talked about SpeCial being a bit of a tricky, weird player, and so far it's super paid off. But this was not just weird and tricky. This was a super smart build. Everything about it paid off, and ShoWTimE may be a little bit stubborn there to get a robo so late, and no robo at all, in fact. And these Widow Mines just, oh, is it again? Oh, just salt on the wound.
Yeah, there's still the single mine as well. It's going to keep getting worker after worker that will transfer from that natural to the 3rd base. Double gas is being taken right now for SpeCial. There isn't too much here on the low ground, though. I saw 1 tank, 4 Marines. Is there potential for ShoWTimE to deal some damage?
Okay. You know, you asked me, I'm quite biased here, Kev. I think Blinkstalker's going to always deal damage, but I think SpeCial's actually got enough to hold. I like everything he's doing. Oh my goodness, no.
Way. That's his only detection.
Yeah, look at ShoWTimE's face. You can see it. He knows the mistakes have been made. In fact, can we bring up the resources lost tab very quickly just to see? I mean, that isn't good, because a Protoss right now, you want to be doing clean against all this, but this has been nothing but.
Yeah, it's just been basically SpeCial sacrificing units to kill probes, and his eco has just been way better this entire time. SpeCial is already up 20 supply, and now that his production is actually about to finish up, that is going to skyrocket.
All right, if you're in ShoWTimE shoes, what do you start doing to try and eke your way back into this? Because this is where I feel you have to either do something crazy or something uber-duper smart.
I honestly think a Templar Archives and hoping for some type of storm drop would be a possibility. I wouldn't even mind tech straight into Disruptors as well, skipping the Colossi altogether and hoping for some lucky hits. DTs sound like a good option, but very often what ends up happening if you're playing against triple CC already is that there are enough scans, there might be a turret in the natural for the Oracle as well, and you actually will not achieve anything. So I think Storm or straight Disruptors definitely is the answer here.
Really nice play by SpeCial, even getting the tanks, the 3rd CC, very, very safely popped down as well. Even this little, oh, is he gonna get the catch? That is brutal for ShoWTimE. Oh, Blink on cooldown still. Oh, even getting the miss Blink there on the low ground will maybe save.
1.
1 Stalker saved. All right. Absolute disaster of a game for ShoWTimE. This is the kind of game, if this was a ladder game, it'd have been that here. Like, from maybe the first Widow Mines turning up when he didn't have anything, especially missing that Oracle early on. Well, pulling the boys as well. You know what? I don't hate it, but it's a bit unnecessary.
It's a bit unnecessary, but it's just going to make this push even more impossible to stop. And if this was a ladder game, I think ShoWTimE right now would be looking at the -38 already. But as this is a tournament game, he will try to make a defense happen. A couple of sentries being warped in here with, well, force fields that don't achieve too much. He will actually protect the tanks for now. And I think SpeCial will be pretty thankful for that. SCV's just standing onto the side here as kind of bystanders, just checking it out. Now we'll start working on that battery. SpeCial absolutely destroying this fight. GG gets called, and SpeCial will win game number 2.
Nice for SpeCial to get a map on the board here, not just in this series, but for the tournament. I mean, obviously only 1 series done so far. He did fall to Ryung 0-2 in the match before, which Ryung, back in the day, was a TVT specialist. I know SpeCial's gone through a phase where he's also being a TVT specialist, but Demauer, he's not an easy opponent whatsoever. And Blackburn, it's one of those maps where I don't think either race is like, oh yeah, I love that map against the other one. It can kind of get a bit weird and out of control, I feel.
Yeah, it's very playstyle dependent, but I do believe that Terrans dislike it slightly more than most Protoss players. Especially Stargate styles are kind of good on that map, obviously. And yeah, this is a very important best of 3. We haven't spoken about it much yet, but if you go 0-2 at this point and neither player having played Dark or Serral yet, I'm not saying you're out, but advancing from this group is going to become really, really tough.
It's looking a little bleak, you know, a little bit bleak. And I just saw there, by the way, Times 1-0 up against Dark in his match that's going on in one of the side streams there. So that's awesome to see as well. But yeah, whatever happens in this match, they're both playing very cool and playing to their styles as well. Like, we saw how good ShoWTimE's defense was in the first game, but we saw how weird and wacky what SpeCial did was in that second game. He's obviously been in the lab, cooking up some of these cool strategies. Lovely, lovely StarCraft.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant stuff here out of SpeCial. I can't believe he went Viking into medevac. I was questioning him as well, Ben. I wasn't sure. I hadn't seen it before.
And the Viking, by the way, paid off against the Oracle, but then killing as many probes as it did, and it's like another warp in, and it's already at that point lost a lot. And I'm very curious what the third map will be between these two. So if he did take the map on Blackburn, you think that's a bit better for Protoss, or at least a bit worse for Terran? Yeah, all comes down to this now for both these players. And I dare say ShoWTimE was looking at this group and he's like, you know what, it's going to be hard to finish top 3, but this is one guy that I absolutely have to beat, and this is him, spawning here in the bottom left of Hardwire to finish it all off. It is Psystorm Gaming SpeCial.
And in the top right, as the blue Protoss player, playing for Team Big, it is ShoWTimE.
What have you made as ShoWTimE's play this tournament thus far? Obviously he's only played 2 series, but...
Yeah, I really believed he would have a better chance against Time than he did. The games didn't look too difficult for Time. They did go a bit longer, but it didn't look too difficult for Time, and that surprised me. I mean, last game, what happened there can happen to anyone, right? Once that first mine lands and you don't have the detection, it was similar what happened to Neep. Like, you just die. Like, it just snowballs so quickly, and from there on out, no matter what you do, it's going to look silly. But SpeCial looked solid, and he knew how to finish the game. I love that move on the map as well with the medevac, catching these stalkers. That was very sexy. I love that. Yeah,
really, really cool. ShoWTimE not going for a scout immediately across the map. Ooh. He's being a bit more methodical about searching around his base just to make sure that there isn't a proxy close by. Bit of a weird way of going about it, but yeah, I think it can also make the Terran feel uncomfortable with the fact that a probe hasn't shown up.
Yeah, definitely. And usually it still shows up in time for that CC block as well, right? Most of the time. But I think this time he might be slightly too late, actually. SpeCial's going to be pretty happy about that, because it's so annoying to have to deal with a stupid probe blocking your CC for 4 or 5 seconds. Then the Adept shows up and everything falls apart. You GG out, or you leave without the GG, as the Protoss dances his units in your natural ban. We've all been there.
We've all been there, we've all been there. I've seen your Terran streams, Kev.
Yeah, there's a lot of things dancing in my natural.
Yeah, they're beautiful, they're beautiful. Whoa, 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 a tech lab on that barracks there.
Okay.
Is this going to be some of that cheeky Marauder follow-up after getting the Reaper? Because if so, that's a bit odd.
It's really uncommon to go Reaper into tech lab. Yeah, I have actually no clue. Well, he's actually going to get Marauders here. All right.
I wasn't kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe like Marines into a... I've seen Gumiho play stuff like that, where he goes Reaper and follows up with a Factory, and then Fast Tech Lab gets a couple of Marines. But yeah, it's Marauder. There's no concussive shells either yet. What is this going to be, Ben? Is he faking a 3-Rex here?
I'm really not sure, you know. I was thinking maybe he's going to get 1 just to show it and then kind of freak his opponent out a little bit, but if I'm a Protoss and I see a Marauder, I'm never scared, you know? I see a Marauder, I'm like,
nice.
Nice, yeah. Nice investment, mate. That sucks right now. But yeah, he's going to go for the Factory as well behind it. I was thinking maybe for a second some old school Marauder Hellion play, but maybe just for a Cyclone here. I don't hate it. Don't fully understand it yet, but definitely an unusual one, because what's the best thing you're hoping for here?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I always try to think, what do people try to achieve with their builds? And the only thing I can really think of here is trying to fake a proxy or a triple Rex, but then having the Factory in the wall kind of negates that as well. Okay,
I'm super curious now, because he's going up to a 3rd gas very quickly is SpeCial. This could be
BC?
I think it could be BC or something proper weird. You know, in the past I've experimented with BC plays against Protoss, Kev. I have always enjoyed it, but hasn't always worked out well for me. But that's a lot of gas going into something, and we don't know what it is just yet.
Yeah, it's a very odd opener. ShoWTimE did open with a Stargate and has that Oracle out. There's nothing except the Cyclone. Cyclone looks onto the Adepts here. That should give ShoWTimE the ability to take out a couple of these workers. One Adept will fall. He also spots the third gas, by the way, which is a huge scout.
Yeah, third CC, so he is going to be getting a Raven with that tech lab, but 5 SCVs going down when you've already kind of done a little bit of a weird build that hampers yourself a tiny bit. Got to see some of these switches going down, didn't get to see that starport going on there though, but yeah, already I'm not feeling this for SpeCial this game.
It almost feels like he's going into mech, but he isn't, right? I hope?
You say you hope, I mean, multiple Cyclones. So is he up to 2 already? Okay, just one, but a second Cyclone. That's already a little bit weird. Maybe feeling like he might be under a bit more pressure here. Multiple Oracles coming out, but ShoWTimE's being very safe, going for the second Robo, or rather the first Robo, then the Robo Bay, then taking his third. Getting decent scout as well. If he was looking there, he would have got to see that Raven, but interesting.
Is this like a fake PC build, maybe? Like to really freak out the opponent? Just the fact that there's 2 Cyclones as well, I don't know. It really messes with my head. And it's messing with ShoWTimE's head as well. He's getting an Immortal, he's getting Phoenixes. Whenever you play a Robo Colossi, you don't want to get an Immortal unless you feel unsafe, because it just kind of blocks the other gas units that you want to be getting. There's a lot of gas right now for ShoWTimE. He took a pretty late third as well, by the way. I think he was just as confused as we are, and perhaps in the end, it's not that bad for SpeCial because of that. Although the eco isn't brilliant, his production is really late. His stim and combat going to finish at what, like 710, 720?
Definitely going to be late, and even a Void Ray on the way here, Kev. That's not something you make unless you're really, really worried. Like, the Immortal's one thing. That's going to be good in your army later on at least, but that Void Ray... He cancelled the Void Ray, right?
Yeah. He spotted that it was bio, I guess. He was afraid of a BC. I think that has to be it, right? He didn't see the Raven, and it was like maybe a Void Ray for a BC, something like that. Or
maybe for like a medevac drop or a Liberator coming. Like, it had to be something, but he knows about the Raven now, and he does have a couple of Phoenix out on the field. So that Raven... it's probably going to have one fight in it or some sneaky go around the map, but now we're getting into more of a normal game, despite a very, very weird start to it.
Yeah, but I feel like in this normal game, SpeCial is just behind for no real reason.
Well, this is what happens when you open up double Marauder and...
double Cyclone. Yeah, the Cyclone is one of the worst units going into a mid-game. It's a unit that is good for the first 4 minutes and then falls off so hard. There's no bottom to that well where that Cyclone falls in. It's just completely useless. It doesn't kill anything in any fight. It doesn't synergize well with tanks. It doesn't synergize well with Marines and Marauders. Just a garbage unit for Terran in this matchup.
Absolutely. Both of them kind of testing the water to see where the other person is. ShoWTimE's gearing up with a lot of gateways, so despite falling behind in supply, he's at a pretty damn good number. That's the best probe count you can have, besides like 66, maybe 1 building probe. Oh.
He's on point.
He's absolutely on point. Oh, he was playing with the devil there, though. So he does see this group of units moving out as well, but what ShoWTimE's heading for here, like charge finishing up, thermal lands +1 as well, he's good to take on a flight. He's ready. He's going to
push as well, right? You think? If SpeCial doesn't attack into him right now, I think ShoWTimE is going to be like, all right, you're not attacking me. I think I'll attack into you. There's, what, 2-3 tanks at this point. There's still a Raven defensively as well, which can be used. And I actually like that SpeCial is like semi on the map because he needs to pretend to want to attack. Because if ShoWTimE ever gets across the map, SpeCial's just in trouble.
Phoenix Colossus definitely been making a bit of a comeback this tournament. Like Phoenix being used quite a lot. Not necessarily as your first go-to unit, but later on as well. Maybe with the prevalence of drops being so good and whatever. But 3 Colossus, that's a pretty magic number. And we've got to remember that Raven coming damn handy in SpeCial. Maybe he's hitting a really good timing here, Kev, because he's got a decent supply. But that being said, there was a lot warped in by ShoWTimE then. Oof.
There's a lot of units for ShoWTimE. I'm just really afraid for SpeCial right now. If this... Actually, I think that ShoWTimE should kind of pretend to want to defend this fourth base and then just give it up altogether. Oh, that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Wants to get these siege ops far away from his base, wait for 1 or perhaps 2 more warpins with the Archons and then just go.
Oh, I really like the missile turrets. There's quite a few units they can hit. Because you did see that, killing those rocks with that though. I thought it was kind of nice having a bit of a choke here against the Zealots. The Raven falls though, does land an anti-armor missile, which will help him grab a Colossus there, but losing that, because you really want to keep that for those interference matrix, I feel. But SpeCial's very all in with this, I feel.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Zealot run by to pick off the reinforcements right now. Everything is just being rallied across the map, and adding these extra warpins isn't that useful if your opponent is also reinforcing, and that often is the power of Protoss, is that with Phoenixes or with Zealot run bys you can pick off reinforcements.
These Phoenix getting behind the army though, that helps a lot because there can be valuable units such as like medevacs, tanks here if he was a bit quicker, but I think it's got close enough to the army. Oh, maybe not, but the Vikings will get a little fighting in here too, and all things said and done, that's nice trade-in for ShoWTimE. He's just buying so much time.
Yeah, I think these Phoenixes are so vital for this as well. They need to keep going there. I don't think ShoWTimE should actually be defending this fourth position. It is absolutely not necessary. He's just putting himself into this weird choke where he doesn't really want to be fighting. He needs to use Phoenixes and Zealots to pick off reinforcements. He's setting up a huge flank though.
I like this flank, because if you can get a wraparound, not having to deal with those bunkers and the turrets, but fighting away from a shield battery when you're the one being defensive, he's going to go for it here, Kev.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about this fight, Ben. ShoWTimE is going to commit to it. There's a lot of tanks in the back still. Archons are fighting, medevacs are being taken out, special supply is plummeting, all Colossi are still alive. And I think I was afraid for nothing, as ShoWTimE is definitely breaking this position, lifting the tanks. The Colossi dealing too much damage. GG gets called as ShoWTimE wins this series 2-2.